We're at Santa Pod's JapShow for round 3 of the Miller's Oil's Jap Drag Series, and a very varied event it is too. With a couple of new cars promised for this event, the plan was for the Pro class to be run for the first time. Gary Gooding was hoping to make it with his low 8-second Supra, and we've also got Steve Bowen with his Mitsubishi Evo on site, fresh from competing in the UK's National Drag Racing Series.
Basically, it's a Japanese car, as you know. It's a Mitsubishi Evolution 8. I've been asked by many followers, and they've all said, get in it, do it. And it just sort of, obviously the car is the full spec, and I decided I'll give it a go and win or lose. Yeah, I've owned the car since 2005. I've had the car 10 years. I was running like 550, 600 horsepower when it was on the road. I decided to take it off the road in 2010. So that's when I got the full sequential strength gearbox and done the full spec, perspex windows, chrome ollie cage, carbon prop shaft, tubular subframe rear and back, and just done it to a full drag spec, and I virtually finished now. What happened the other week, the camshaft snapped on the pulley, which obviously I bent 12 valves, and the head had gone past repair, so we had to get another head. And because we were short of space to get out for the Summer Nationals, we managed to get hold of a stock head with standard size valves. Managed on mid boost, I still run a 914. So I personally think there could be an 8-second with a stock ported head.
Well, points leader in the street class is David Greenhalgh.
We've done some work to the engine. It's in point of fact, we put the spare engine in the car. It's got new cylinder, or the latest cylinder head on with the gas flowing, so it's a better head than we had before. We've also put some higher lift, lumpier cams in, which is why the car sounds slightly different to what it did before. But altogether, that package generates more power. The handling usually is not too bad because obviously the aerodynamics are set up to keep it in a straight, or help keep it in a straight line. The headwind really knocks back the terminal speed, and of course it takes you longer to get there. So you could easily find with a good headwind like this, you're losing 0.2, 0.3 of a second. These items on the back here, they're known as wake vortex generators, and what they help to do is keep the airflow tight on the car body to maximise the benefit of the rear wing.
And for this event, David has decided to step up into the Pro class along with the returning Mark Mosley.
Did have a few gearbox problems, but Andy Frost has done his magic, fixed the gearbox, which was a schoolboy error for me. The numbers obviously in the Pro class have been low for quite some time. I just want to run the car and go as fast as possible, so I said I'm not worried if I move from street up into the Pro class and push the car a bit harder and make the numbers up. Mainly in Pro, you've obviously not got to have it MOTable, so you can run the car lighter, you can run full slicks instead of a street tyre, which obviously helps in drag racing.
A Pro car you'd expect to be down at around about 1,000 kilos with the driver in, whereas I'm running 1,650 kilos with myself in it. Okay, I could lose a few kilos myself, but there is no way this car can be taken down to that sort of weight. So with respect to the Pro class, big weight advantage.
So heading out for the first of the day's 3 scheduled qualifying sessions. And the first pair is Mark Mosley in the left lane and Steve Bowen, the roofer, in the right lane in the Pro class. First run out in class for Steve, but he's already competed in a couple of national races, including the prestigious FIA-FIM main event. Not bothered about reaction times here, just the ET, and both cars running very cleanly. A 9.19 at 1.52 for Steve, and 8.72 at 1.64 for Mark. David Greenhalgh now on his own. Now it turns out that last-minute engine problems for Gary Gooding means that he also can't make the Pro field today. David's already up there looking very good. A very nice 8.52 at 160 to open the card. So we move into the street class now. Jeff Ludgate in the right lane and Andre Geiser in the left lane running in the borrowed car. Well, Jeff's not really pulling away as well as he would normally like to, but still up to the line, getting a 9.68 at 138 miles an hour to Andre's 12.15 at 118. Second session now, and again it will be Steve Bowen in the right lane and Mark Mosley in the left. No burnout, of course, of the four-wheel drive Evo, and held on the line as well as he's forgotten to fasten his neck brace, so Mark's going to be on his own this time round. Looking very good indeed, already at half track. Crossing the line, a bit slower than last time, an 8.90 at 1.55. Well, Steve's now got his neck brace fitted, so off he goes. Nicely up through the gears, almost an exact copy of his first run, going over the line, crossing in a 9.20 at 147. Well, David Greenolsh out next, and he'll be making changes in the ECU map, controlling where on the run his boost comes in to try to maximise today's traction conditions, and it's looking very good indeed. Up he goes. In fact, he's gone faster with an 8.49 at 160 miles per hour. Street class again, and the first outing for Brent Crooks in the GTR. Now the car is capable of 9s, but due to safety equipment tag levels, he's limited to somewhat slower today, up against Jeff Ludgate. And Jeff struggling to keep up the GTR here. 11.20 at 82 for Brent, and a disappointing 11.85 for Jeff. Well, back in the pits as we move towards the final qualifying session, Jeff will be trying to find the cause for his lack of power, and problems also for Steve Bowen in the Evo.
The last run was very good, and as I come off the shutdown area to come around the bend, I hear a slight clicking. I go back to the pits, I've checked everything, it seems okay, but when it's on slight lock, it's a bit of a click there, but I was expecting not to get further than a tree, to be honest with you. No, yeah, I was expecting the shaft to go, but fingers crossed, everything's still intact.
Well, we've got some sort of electrical issue or whatever it is, because we've got a misfire. We're running on 5. We thought we'd cured it. We took it out, changed some plugs, did a few things. It started much nicer. It was running nicely. By the time we got mucked about a little bit at the line because of that oil down, I think it had heated up and it was back to 5 again. So whether it's like one of the coil packs, as soon as it gets hot, it's breaking down. We're looking at it now, see what we can see.
Well, Jeff failed to make it out for session 3, though with no one else improving, he still held on to the number 1 spot in street. In pro, it was David Greenolsh in number 1 position.
We've had a couple of good runs this morning. The weather was a bit overcast earlier, which brought the temperatures down a bit, which helps. At the end of the day, you try and do your best, and if your best puts you in number 1, then it's good.
So overall then, you're quite happy with the way the car's progressing?
Quite happy with the car, where it's going. We put the fresh engine in, the spare engine in. We're obviously bedding that in, and we're steadily getting quicker, because obviously not only are we adjusting for the engine and tweaking the engine, we're also seeing what the grip is like on the strip. And looking at the last logs from the last run, it was quite clear that the wheels were spinning for about the first eighth, which is losing time for you all the time. So if we bring the boost in a little less aggressively, hopefully that allows the tyres to hook up and grip, and that will bring the time down again, and we'll be back into our 8.3s, maybe an 8.2.
So getting the cars ready for the afternoon's eliminations, and we're picking up with the semi-finals, and it seems at the moment Jeff has still not managed to get his car to even start, so it could be a very open elimination. Pro class first, and it's Steve Bowen in the right lane against Mark Mosley in the left. On qualifying times, Mark has a few tenths over Steve, but that could all be lost on the start line or on one missed shift. And it is! Mark completely fails to move on the green. He's handed it to Steve. first win in competition for the Evo with a 9:28 at 150. Mark finally made it through in 21 seconds. Solo run for David Greenhalgh now into the final. He doesn't need to really try for this one, but after that burnout, I think he will. Lights go green. Beautifully done, straight as an arrow down the line. Crossing in an 8:52, 163 miles an hour. Street class now, and is Brent Crooks in the left lane in the silver machine against the black GTR of Andre Geisler. He's still waiting for his proper race car to be completed and is competing in the road car mainly to get points. Brent away into the lead right away from the start, and well, I think Andre's lost this one. And there it is. And here's a turn up. Jeff Ludgate for his bye run into the final, staging the car using the starter motor to take the win. But a win is a win, as they say. Well, work to do in the pits then, and as we wait for the finals, there's plenty of Run What You Brung action on the track to watch, including an incredible Mazda rotary-powered Escort of Justin Ladmu all the way from Malta. The Terminator's the fastest rotary engine-powered car in Europe, and we're so glad to have them along to set records here at Santa Pod's JapShow. Feverish activity around Jeff's car, but not so for Brent Crooks.
No, we're doing quite well today, basically. David's decided to jump up into the pro class today, so that's left me, Jeff, and Andre in the street class. David managed to qualify first in the pro. We managed to qualify first in this car. Basically, this morning you see we did a 11.2 with a little stab of the brakes at the end. We're still very conscious about not dropping into the nines because of the safety regs on the cage on this car. So I was trying to find that happy medium between not dropping into the nines but going quicker than a 12 to beat Andre, basically. So yeah, we managed to qualify first. Yeah, it's frustrating, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're doing really well, and you know, looks like Jeff's having problems, so we're not quite sure if he's going to be out on the next round or not. I mean, if it turns out that he can't run, we've basically just got to break the light at the other end, basically.
So as the cars are called for the final, Jeff Ludgate's crew still trying to make the call, but not looking too good. And indeed, he can't get the car to fire, so the final in street is going to be a solo run for Brent Crooks. A nice easy run then for Brent Crooks, up against no one. And the brake light's going on, he takes the win, and proving yet again that it's not always the fastest car that wins in drag racing.
Now, Brent, not the greatest way to win, but it's a win.
No, it's a real shame that it didn't get to go up against Jeff, to be honest. Like you say, it's not a great way to go about it, but no, all the same, win's a win at the end of the day, innit?
And if you'd started off this weekend knowing you're going to go away as a victor, would you have taken that? I'm pretty sure you would.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've done quite well with the car. It's been had no problems with the car whatsoever. We're just trying to find our bracket as such. We need to be in the 10s really and stay consistently there as well to be, you know, in the game basically.
Final time in pro then, and it's favourite David Greenhalgh in the right lane against newcomer Steve Bowen, the roofer, in the left-hand lane. Good solid burnout from David, as we always expect, laying down a lot of rubber beyond the tree. Off they go, a great start then from the roofer, a fantastic start, but David Greenhalgh straight on him, and the roofer can do nothing about it. Steve Bowen watching Greenhalgh go past, and David wins an 8.67 to a 9.51.
It's a pretty good win, especially in the pro class, because I moved up from street just to ensure the pro class had enough good runners in it. But we had some good runs from the guys, given the conditions. It's a bit cool and so on. But we had a good final. We got away, and as the saying goes, I beat him to the line.
You absolutely did. And it was great to see an actual competition for the final race, because it didn't quite work that way out for the whole weekend too. So we hope to see you back here next time. Pro class next time?
No, if there's enough runners in the pro class, I'll drop back into the street class, because of course Jeff has now overtaken me in the lead for the street class, so I've got to get the points back again now.
There you go.
There we go.
Ever the competitor to the end. Well, thank you very much to David. We hope to see you next time. It'll be Ultimate Street Car. Hope to see you then.